what is really important, or what I find quite important, is the fact that when we free ourselves from any negativities, or when we free ourselves from any restriction, then at the same time, at that very moment, at the same time, we find ourselves in a situation when we actually attract ourselves towards new opportunities. Now, this is significant because this opportunity will give us a chance to show our brilliance and also our problem solving skills. But this is so important because it is all about stepping back for just a second and look at the picture from a whole different angle. And what the December the 7th new moon in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by a powerful Jupiter, which is also connected to the 9th house. Now we have got a fantastic combination here. The fact that Sagittarius is connected to the 9th house, it's also very much so related to religion, related to spirituality, related to our philosophy and our beliefs, okay? And it's related to what we are actually focusing on and what we would like to achieve in this life. Now, when it comes to the actual new moon in Sagittarius, and when it comes to the actual 7th of December 2018, when this is actually going to happen, this is going to be a brilliant combination of us feeling quite spiritual, of us feeling quite powerful in that particular way, but then on another hand, we are also going to feel the certain bravery about the problems, about the negativities, and about those situations in life that so far we were kind of unsure what to do or which way to go. And especially if you felt a little bit uncertain, now the whole new certainty is going to come true. But I repeat, this is just so much to do with our careers, with our work, with our finances, with our financial situation. But then again, if you are retired, if you are retired, then of course this is just so much going to do with the whole big picture of your life, with the whole achievement, how much you have achieved, what would you like to do next. It is just so much going to be about us reaching the certain point in our lives. But it's not only about reaching the certain point in our lives, it's about the actual realization, how far we have come, what else we need to do next. But it's not even that. What this amazing new moon in Sagittarius is actually going to bring, I mean, Sagittarius is a brilliant sign. It's a very powerful, it's very energetic, it's a very crystal clear sign, especially when it comes to those things in life that Sagittarius people want to do. When they want something, they literally go there and they go for it. And this is the beautiful, powerful energy that we are all going to borrow on the 7th of December 2018. And as I said before, when it comes to the actual new moon, it's not only about the actual 7th, it's going to be like about 3 days earlier on the actual new moon and 3 days later. So we've got like about 6 days to play with, 6 days to prepare yourself, just 6 days to kind of try to meditate within this try to meditate within these 6 days. You see, try to meditate, try to connect yourself to your own spirituality. As I said before, Sagittarius is going to bring this wonderful wisdom, whether we realize this straight away or not. It is just like an invisible little angel that is about to guide us. An invisible little spirit guide is going to come through, it's going to come forward and it's guide us, and it's going to show our way. You see, and the universe is most certainly going to be on our side. So what to do? 7th of December, a new moon in Sagittarius. Listen to me very carefully, my babies. Listen to me very carefully. Anything to do with, as I said before, I can't stress enough that anything to do with the career, anything to do with the finances, this is going to become a main point. But it's not only about that. They are the realization that we are going to have, the realizations that we are going to have, but they're directly going to be connected to our problems, and those problems that were really becoming too much in our lives, and those problems that just became like something quite a long term, and something that we realize, within the next 6 or 7 months that will have to go, or we will need to cut out of our lives to actually get where we want to get, to be where we want to be. I said this many times, that there are lots of negativities that we can actually focus on subconsciously, and that way when we focus on subconsciously in certain areas of our lives, especially when it's to do with things that don't do to us anything good anymore, then we are just preventing ourselves to move on. And that's why Sagittarius is just so important, because it is going to help in so many ways to actually move on. It is the cloud that we have very often in our lives, and these clouds they're literally preventing us to feel the whole thing. And by when I say to feel the whole thing, when we are unable to feel the whole thing around us, then we have that little cloud in between us and in between the certain area around us, and then that cloud is preventing us to kind of move on as quick as we could move on with our lives. But then on the other hand, this happens quite a lot, and it depends on this life, and it depends on our past life, and it depends on our spiritual journey. So when I put all this together, the wonderful Sagittarius on December the 7th is just going to be an amazing starting point. Now, you know that every new moons are really powerful. Just like a full moon is a very powerful, new moon is powerful in a different way. So new moon is a lot about the new beginnings, a lot about the new start. Okay, and when we go like with the fact that we actually have a Sagittarius, which is really ridiculously successful sign, and it's also ruled by Jupiter, lots of power, lots of energy, all those things that are so important in our lives are going to be rather highlighted. But it's not only about being highlighted, but we are getting this new wisdom that is going to come through, that is going to come forwards. For every single new moon, if you want to do something, if you want to start something, it's an absolutely brilliant time. For any beginning, it's quite good because you go with the moon, you work with the moon, okay? So you're doing it with a sync, which is brilliant, which is just going to bring you so many more opportunities. So this is just so important. Of course, there are 12 signs of Zodiac, and of course, each new moon in a different sign, it's actually going to give us like a different things. You know, we are going to be able to borrow a little bit of Scorpio energy for something else, a little bit of Virgo energy, you know. It all depends like what new moon we have. But especially when it comes to the new beginnings, in general, new moons are all about the new starts, all about the new beginning, okay? But when it comes to the actual Sagittarius is about to bring us the whole new vision. Sagittarius is also going to automatically give us a chance for a brand new unfoldment, which is going to help us on another hand to breach certain things and invoke certain things when it comes to our life, when it comes to our future, and when it comes to especially those things that we want to focus on. And also it is going to bring us a strong connection with our home, strong connection with our environment as well. So, but also what I think it's quite important that it's just so important that those problems, those negativities in our lives that we have, those negativities in your life that you have, those problems, those things that you just don't like to deal with, that you don't want to deal with, you're constantly waiting for the right time, you're constantly waiting for the right moment, but you just can't deal with those things. You know, you just don't like dealing with certain things, but that's natural. So that's what I'm saying to you. I can't stress enough how important it is to say this, that we will have the ability on this new moon to do, or at around this new moon. So remember, it's not only the 7th, but it's 3 days earlier on the actual new moon, and then 3 days later. These are like few days, as I say, to play with, which means it is about to give us opportunity for the brand new unfoldment, and that in itself is going to bring a new turning point, and that in itself is going to help us to deal with issues effortlessly. Okay, to deal with our issues with effortlessly. So try to deal with those issues that are just you didn't know what to do, those problems you just didn't know what to do, those people you never wanted to talk to, those people who you don't want to talk to, those problems you don't want to deal with. It is going to come a time when we're going to have to deal with the problems we don't want to deal with. Why not to do it when it's such a wonderful moon in new moon in Sagittarius? Okay. Energetically wise, it's going to feel quite strange. Okay, I have to say this. Energetically, it's going to feel quite unusual. It's going to feel quite strange. We again have a little bit of a twilight zone, which means that the things are just going to feel a little bit strange. Energetically, our energy is going to be a little bit tricky, because normally the Sagittarius is like a full of energy, but this energy is going to turn into our mind energy. This energy is going to turn into our mindfulness. This energy is going to in turn into our spirituality. This energy is going to in turn into this type of power, which there has to be a balance. So mentally, we're going to be really strong. Mentally, we're going to be very powerful. So it's a great time to manifest. But on another hand, I have to stress, there is going to be the balance. So normally we would get like a very powerful and strong energy from Sagittarius when it comes to our physicality. We'll be like, hello, yeah, hello. You know, we'll be like that, brilliant, okay? But now we are just going to feel a little bit drained. We're just going to feel a little bit tired. So it's going to be a little bit different. This is because we are going to be using a lot of our spiritual mental energy, okay? So that's why there's going to be a little bit disbalance when it comes to the actual energy, when it comes to physicality. So that's why on another hand, the pressure in the air is going to feel a little bit different. The pressure in the air is going to feel a little bit bizarre, but that is just nothing that is going to affect us. Maybe it is going to confuse us a little bit, and it's just going to make us feel like, oh, if you want to do something big, if you want to go to the employer, or if you want to do something really important, you know, these energies are really tricky because they make you feel like, oh no, I'm not too sure if I feel the right way. Never ever wait to feel the right way. That's to start with. You just have to go by this in your whole life if you possibly can. Never wait for the right moment. Never wait for the right time, you know, to actually do something. You just go for it, do for things. But if we want to actually, you know, use our planets, if we want to use our horoscope signs, if we want to use our own spirituality and combine all this together and pinpoint the right time, pinpoint the right day, pinpoint the right new moon, pinpoint the moon, pinpoint the right sign, then it's most certainly the 7th of December. It's going to be a ridiculously powerful day when it comes to all these things that I already said, because it's not only about us doing things effortlessly, you know. It's time for the big decisions. It's time for the negotiations. It's time to go our day. It's time to do what you wanted to do for a really long time. Go for it. Not only you're going to find yourself doing things really rather nicely and effortlessly, indeed, okay, but it's also going to give us a really nice focus, a clear focus that is not going to stay there forever. It's not going to stay there for too long, but it is going to give us a wonderful chance to actually go on the next stage and to go on the next level. And you know, in life we can plan things, we can do things, but there are always going to be the certain things that are going to pop out. There are always going to be the certain things that are going to surprise us, and that's really good, because those things are things that we need. Those little things in life that happen like this that we don't expect are probably the most important things in our life, because they always take us somewhere else. Some are really good, some are new, and some are really important, and some are where we really should be. Okay, and it's a wonderful important time to actually love ourselves. Think about what you would like to do this new moon. Think how you can help yourself. Think what you could do dietary, you know. Think if you need a little bit more exercise. Think where you need a balance in your life, because as I said, don't forget, this is a wise energy, very wise energy, that it's going to be very important part of us, a very important part of our mind. And so when I say wise energy, it is going to bring lots of little informations that we wouldn't normally get, lots of little informations that we wouldn't normally have. Sagittarius is very sharp indeed, and to actually have this beautiful sign and to actually have this ability to do things effortlessly and also to have a clear focus, it is just absolutely perfect combination. Because also when it comes to Sagittarius, it gives you a self-confidence, it gives you a self-power. So it doesn't matter if the energy is going to feel a little bit strange, like a little bit of a twilight zone. It absolutely doesn't matter, because what I was going to say, whatever you start, even if you feel like a little bit weird, even if it feels like a little bit of a twilight zone day, or these 6 days, you know, at around the new moon in Sagittarius, just go for it, because you're just going to surprise yourself. All what you need to do is just go for it, just start. Remember, you need to have the beginning, you need to start. You need to have a beginning, you need to start. You need to have the first turning point, and that new turning point is just going to absolutely change everything. And that's why I'm saying, if you feel like a little bit tricky, don't wait to feel like the right moment, or I'll do it tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Just go for it, and you know, just go for it. If it needs be, then just do it the next day again, or do it the next day again. But just don't wait for the right moment. Just go for it with this wonderful Sagittarius energy, because because this Sagittarius energy is there to surprise you with your own abilities, okay? It's going to surprise you and make you realize something really significant about yourself and significant about your abilities. It's a wonderful homecoming time as well. It's a homecoming time, and it's a brilliant time for the couples as well, because the couples are going to feel very close at this time. The couples are going to especially feel in sync this time, and this is going to be a great time for couples. So lots of couples are actually will want to start something new. We want to have some kind of new beginning, some kind of new start, and lots of couples are going to find themselves talking about like some kind of a new stage in your lives that only like couples who really love each other, who understand each other, who appreciate each other can actually do, or can actually reach in their lives. And also, you know, that financially this is going to be quite a good time, because financially, even if some people may not like receive like a great finances at around that time, this is going to be the time when there is going to be the sign, there is going to be significations about the financial situation, and it is going to be positive. But it's also for those of people that are maybe struggling, there is also going to be a really wonderful realization here, and I'm really, really happy here. Wonderful realization which is going to give automatically an overwhelming emotion, especially for those of you who were struggling, for those of you who didn't know which turn to go, which direction to go. There is something really wonderful going to come through. A new wisdom is going to bring a new beginning. A new beginning is going to bring a new thoughts. A new thought is going to bring a new direction. A new direction is going to bring the whole new world, which is going to start at around this time. And what else I was going to say, do you know what is really wonderful about Sagittarius as well? And this is what people need to understand, how powerful Sagittarius is. My goodness, it's like every now and then when we have like this new moon in Sagittarius, is just so brilliant, because all those like emotional problems, emotional issues we have, you know, we just kind of become like this powerful spirit, you know, at around this time with this energy of Sagittarius. And what is actually going to happen for those of you that are suffering from like a broken heart, or for those of you that are struggling because your partner left you, your lover left you, or for those of you that are hurting a lot emotionally, for those of you that are suffering from heartbreak, this is also going to be the time of a new building, okay? This is going to be the time when a really important ending is going to happen. This is going to be the time when a really important ending is going to manifest, and that ending is just going to be automatically become a very passionate part of your life, and that ending is going to help you to move on. That ending is going to help you like to move on from the partner you don't want to kind of focus on. There are lots of people that are focusing on somebody else without even realizing. This is amazing how much of this is actually going on. But lots of people who would like to find someone, they don't find someone because they're still focusing on somebody very strongly, and sometimes people don't even realize this, and sometimes people are flirting with the same person like every day or every week or something like that, and they're not realizing that they like them so much and that they think about them, but they don't realize this. So that's why these things are so important. It's all about a new beginning, and it's all about a new passion that is going to come through as well. A great time to deal with the burdens in our life. Absolutely great time to deal with the burdens in our life this new moon is going to be, because now these burdens in our life are kind of we are going to be able to see the different side to them, and we are even going to find some kind of enjoyment actually, and a different direction to approach certain problems in certain areas in our lives. When it comes to the actual feeling of you know, like a mischief and things like that, this is most certainly going to be the time like when people are going to feel like a little bit mischief, like people are going to feel like a little bit adventurous and daring, and this is so good. If you do feel adventurous and if you do feel really daring, just do it. You know, this is going to be brilliant. If you feel do something silly or something different, just go for it, because this is also going to be the right thing to do, and it is going to help a lot with the balance as well. It's sometimes we need to have a little bit of fun, sometimes we need to have like a little bit of adventure in our lives indeed, but this is also a clear sign for those of us who have been working a lot. For those of you who have been working a lot, maybe you didn't have a time to like a kind of have a break or something like that, so perhaps this is also going to be the great time to actually try to focus on these things, and maybe, you know, just take take care of yourself, because as I said, it's a lot about the mind, body and spirit as well. And when it comes to actually making our lives better by taking the right things, doing the right things, like having the right exercise, work-life balance, very, very important indeed. Okay, sorry. So what else I was going to say, lots of us will want to do something really posh. Like, for example, when it comes to something really luxurious, lots of us will want to treat ourselves at around this time. But this is also brilliant, and this is also a fantastic thing to do. Again, for lots of you who were working, who didn't want to take a break, who couldn't take a break, this is also going to be a brilliant time to do this. But also, let me tell you something that another thing that I was going to say, I mentioned burden and I mentioned problems, and I will say, but there is a certain thing that made you feel like a really sad or really depressed, maybe, and that was making you feel really, really low. And there is a certain situation that was also making you very powerless. You see, it's all about the waiting, and it's all about the time. Now, I'm saying this because this is going to be very highlighted, those areas of our lives that we felt like we are tested. How many tests we can have, how many tests we can actually go through. As I said, it all depends on our past life, on our current life, on our karma, on our spiritual journeys, and how far we have come on our spiritual journeys. So, but this is the time also when these things are going to be highlighted. This is going to be brought up, you see, to give a little bit of your attention. But now at the same time, there is some kind of advice that you are going to have from a really powerful figure, from somebody who you think is a very, very powerful figure in your life. And there's this advice that you are going to have, and that advice that you are going to have, it's also going to be very much so directly connected to the problem that you had for a while. And as I said, it's something that it was the very depressing situation, and it made you feel really powerless, and it was only about the waiting for the time to actually kind of come out of this situation. It's like, hello, I'm done, So now it was all about your own personal spiritual journey, where your stamina and your power and your strength and your confidence, was actually tested. So that is going to be highlighted, and that is going to come through, and it is going to become it's going to give you the solution. It's going to give you a solution to the problem that was there for a while, that was making you really bad. And that solution that you're going to have, as I said, is just kind of there is going to be the actual advice that you are going to have from some kind of like a powerful figure in your life. And you may not even have the advice like this directly, but you may watch someone, you may hear someone, you can see someone, and that might give you an advice. However, that person is going to be kind of powerful figure. So there is a certain abandonment of the certain situation also going to happen. And after that moment, you will be able to, people will be able to kind of focus on different things, like when it comes to the actual security, power, and these things in our lives. And also, just remember that anything like when it comes to the actual signing, anything when it comes to the actual new beginning, anything when it comes to the actual new legal things, powerful things, any new career, new colleges, new starts, this is going to be bombastic time. My goodness, let me tell you this. You don't need to start, of course, straight away on the 7th of December. As I said, you've got 3 days before on the actual day, and you've got 3 days later. But when it comes to the actual signing, when it comes to starting new job and things like that, starting new things, maybe negotiations, try to do it very much so on the 7th, or at least the one day before, on the 7th or one day later. This is when the energy is really strong. If you can do it on the 7th, would be absolutely perfect. So anything new you can do, new prospects, new job, new career, new some kind of negotiations, because it is just going to come out like so much more powerful, so much more strong, so much more significant than it would normally would. And also there's this beautiful, powerful wiseness that is going to be around, that is going to guide you and guide you and guide you. So this is a really important time for the negotiations. If you can start on this day, this is going to be brilliant, because you are going to end up with unlimited unlimited possibilities. You don't need to start on this particular day, but perhaps if you can maybe make a call, or maybe you can write an email, maybe you can write a text message, you need to start at this moment. At this moment, it needs to be a starting process. I'm not saying to just find a job straight away or something like that on that day, but if you can have a starting process at least, so the energy is connected to this day, the energy is attached to this day. So as the time goes by, everything is going to become more significant and more significant and more significant for you. Okay? It is a brilliant time as well when it comes to showing yourself, when it comes to work and career, your current career, because this is the time when people notice everybody. This is the time when everything and everybody is highlighted. So if you're working and you want to be noticed, just make sure that you're like doing your best. I'm not saying you're not doing your best, but this is going to be brilliant because it is the wise power that you are going to have. So for those of you that are waiting for some kind of apprenticeship and things like that, apprenticeships, this is going to be absolutely brilliant, because this is also going to bring you a swift activity. And that swift activity, it is just going to be a new starting point, especially when it comes to your own transition, and especially when it comes to your own change. This is the time of readjustment, regeneration, and rebirth. Okay, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, love and light. Okay, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium.